Hello friends, today I want to talk about testing and probably more specifically unit testing. And I want to start with the conceptual level. What is a test? Well, let's do it with some code. So let's say create a file, and actually let's go ahead and create a folder. Whatever. Let's actually just create a file. We'll call it my cool file.php, because that's obviously a name of a file that you would use. Create it. Let's go ahead and pop this thing open. Go into the editor, obviously open up some PHP tags. And let's say you're starting with this idea that you decided you needed a function that will sum two numbers for. Perfectly valid, right? You would never do something like, here's my var equals 2 plus 2, right? Because that's just too simple. You should probably write a function for that. So let's do that. Because we got to complicate things. So let's do that. Let's write a function to sum two numbers. And we'll have two arguments, one for each number. And we'll call this argument A and argument B. And of course, we'll open it up here. And then what we'll do is we will return argument A plus B. I'm going to increase the font size here so you guys can see this a little better. Give it to a click. Let's do 16. Okay. All right, so we've got our function. It's simply returning A plus B to sum two numbers. Let's go ahead and just echo a little test here. Echo sum two numbers. We're going to put in 2, 2. All right, save. Let's open this puppy up in the browser. We'll open up my cool file.php, and you can see right there that we have the number 4. Okay, so that's kind of cool, right? Looks like our function works. You would think so. Let's just, to be safe, let's try 1 and 1. I think the answer is 2, but I'm not a computer, so let's let the computer decide. Control save, refresh. Okay, so you guys can see that the answer is 2. All right. So it looks like our function works, but someday we might decide to make changes to this function. We might want to refactor it. So what we typically do, and actually you technically do this before you ever even write a function, but we'll get into that in a minute. You write a test. All right, well, what's a test? Well, we kind of sort of wrote one. We just didn't really make it any fancier than that. We sort of just wrote a echo statement, that echoed the results of the two sum two numbers, and threw in some numbers that we were pretty sure we knew the answer. And checked them out in the browser. So that's a test, right? We tested it, right? All right, well, that's what testing is. But it's a little bit better than that, because you typically write tests, literally, that run at either a prescribed interval, or you run them when you want to test something after you've made changes. So let's maybe write a test. In this case, we're just going to write a function. We'll call it test. And don't need any arguments to this because it is our test, and we're just going to run that function, our test. Well, the test is literally going to set up some variables. We're going to say test1. And let's think about how to do this. We're going to pass in an array 1, 1. All right, cool. Let's do test2 equals 2 and 2. And these are going to end up being arguments that we feed into our function. And we'll just do 3 tests for now. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm setting up some tests that I reasonably can expect what the answer should be. And then we're just going to run those tests using those inputs or variables. So let's do results. We'll just do our short 1 equals 2 sum 2 numbers. And then we'll do, I think we can do this, $$$$$1. And just to make sure that I can do that, let's echo it out. Oh, I gotta run the test here. So then we run the function, right? Save, see what happens here. Okay, so it looks like that test is working, right? Copy it, oh, come on. Control C, do a couple more tests. Test 2, test 3. Test 2, test 3. And then we'll do some assertions. We're going to say, okay, do the results equal what I expect them to equal? Okay, so do an if statement. If test res 1 equals 2, then echo pass, right? Else echo fail. Okay, Control C, run this out. We'll put in 2 and 3. Now test 2 should equal obviously 4, and then test 3 should equal 6, right? Got an error somewhere. No, I'm semicolons all the way. Okay, we'll save. Let's see what happens here. Pass, pass, pass. Okay, well, cool. So what happens if I change an input here, right? Control S, just to make sure that the fail portion works. We got a fail, pass, pass. All right, so the first test fails because obviously we punched in 2 inputs that do not equal 2, and the test was do 1 plus 1 equal 2, which was the assumption test. Whatever, you guys get what I mean, come on. Okay, so that's in a sense a test. At its core conceptual level, that's all you're doing. You're trying to set up a series of inputs that you're then going to feed into your function or your class or whatever code it is that you've written that you want to test. And then, of course, you're going to assert the results of those tests equal what you expect. And that's an oversimplification. There's lots and lots of ways to assert. Assert true, you can assert equal, you can assert false. Just read or watch a YouTube video on PHP unit or unit testing in general, and you're going to find all kinds of examples of testing. But at a core, this is it. So you can see that we've done this in 20 lines of code. So this is a very simple test. Obviously, you can see how a framework would really benefit, speeding this process up, certainly organizing it. And PHP unit for PHP testing is a fantastic framework for doing that. There are lots and lots of YouTube channels and videos on tutorials to learn PHP unit. Highly recommend checking it out, and maybe we'll take a look at it here in the next video. But this was just an intro. I wanted to at least cover some basics. So catch me in the next video where we're going to dive into maybe making our own small, tiny, itty bitty little framework for testing. All right, catch you guys in the next video.